Fuck Austin Matthews. Fuck the Leafs.
Can we kick this guy out?
I started recording, so. Hello, and welcome to the first episode ever of the College Dropouts podcast. I'm here with all the college dropouts. My name's Cody.
My name's Cole.
What's up, I'm Logan.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Joe.
And we've got some good topics to talk about today. We went through and gathered some of today's hottest sports headlines. We'll kind of summarize what went on throughout the week, and we'll have some fun with it. Obviously, crack some jokes, do whatever we need to do to make the show as entertaining as possible.
Yeah. Dropped out of school, now we done rich.
So our first topic today is the World Baseball Classic. We're titling this one World Baseball Classic, Baseball Saving Grace. For one reason, it might be one of the most popular things in the world of sports right now. People everywhere are talking about it. It's always like that with international tournaments. Any international tournament you get, there's always a boatload of just support coming in that there's not usually there. And so today is the quarterfinals, or they started last night, obviously, right? Canada, U.S. played. What was the other one that played?
Korea and Dominican Republic.
Korean Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic won that, and U.S. won. And then today, Puerto Rico and Italy played, and Italy got the win there.
That game just finished. Italy already won.
Ew.
Yeah, Italy won that one. So they'll play either Japan. They'll play either Japan or Venezuela. I think we're going to go around now and kind of give our opinions on who we think is going to just end up taking the World Baseball Classic. We'll start with Joey.
Well, I'm Korean, but I know that we're cooked. We got cooked. I'm not going for Japan because, cultural ops, but I'm really feeling Dominican Republic's going to take it away. They got a nasty lineup, and literally all the hype is around the energy that Dominican Republic brings to the game of baseball as that team as a whole. Like, you think about like the Blue Jays in the season, the run that they've had, and with that environment, and you share that same energy with all the greatest talent within your country and that stuff, you're going to go far away. You're going to create something stronger than just a gross baseball team. You're going to build a lot of chemistry there. You're going to enjoy winning. And you're going to take things seriously as a family. And yeah, just the vibes are high. And I just have a really strong feeling about them.
We're going to kick it to Hendo. Who do you have taking it?
Well, I'm sorry, Joey, but I'm going with the reigning champions here. I think Japan's going to go on back-to-back for the sole purpose of the States have looked rocky this year and everyone else sucks. I don't think I could see a Japan and States finals. I think that's the final matchup. I don't think they can play each other in semis. Well, actually, they can't. But all I'm going to say is in Japan's 4 games, Shohei's only played in 3 of them, and the guy's batting .533. So,
yeah,
Japan's taking the whole thing.
All right, Logan, who do you have winning the World Baseball Classic?
You know what, dude? For the sake of straight up just being different and something else, I'm riding the Italy wagon, bro. Italy is such a fucking wagon in this entire tournament. I don't think anyone really expected them to be as good as they've been. They have a lot of good players, but I don't think anyone.
Name two.
You don't like Jack Caglione or Michael Lorenzen?
What about Adam Ottavino, huh?
Adam Ottavino, yeah. Dogs, bro. Italy's been a fucking dark horse in this tournament. I love what they bring. I think, they just beat America, who's heavily favorited, but those guys anyway. But yeah, I'm hopping on the Italy wagon, man. I think Italy's got it.
Cool.
I agree with Hendo. I'm going Japan solely because they're the only good team basically left anymore.
You don't like the Dominican Republic? What the fuck?
Well, bro. Japan.
PR is loaded, buddy.
Bro, Japan's the top. We're gonna win. It's over. They're gonna win.
I'm actually rolling. I'm running with Japan as well, solely because of you got the Otani and the Yamamoto tandem. Or Yamamoto, my bad. Who the fuck is Yamamoto?
Probably some dude at the end of the bench,
Yeah, Yamamoto single-handedly beat the Jays in the World Series. So that he's on top of my list right now. And Otani's just Shohei Otani. Like, he could literally just do it all himself. As I said before, international tournaments tend to gain a lot of fan bases that wouldn't normally watch the sport. You know, we just had the Olympics, the World Baseball Classic. The World Cup always brings a lot of eyes to the sport. So I got to ask all of you guys, and we'll start with Cole on this one. Which international tournament is the most fun to watch in your opinion?
Probably, I would say probably like the hockey, the Olympics, but hockey specifically. Just because, well, I enjoy hockey the most probably in general, but also because like I feel like it's just like the most entertaining, especially when the NHL players are there, because it's like really the best of the best as well, which is probably like one of the most entertaining things to watch is with the hockey players when they all play against each other. But I think like the only problem is they only play once every 4 years, but I think them adding the four nations though will help as well, make it more interesting as well, especially because they can fight in that too.
All right, we'll kick it to Logan. Which international tournament is the most fun to watch?
Yeah, I gotta stick with Cole on this one, man. Like, there's no better feeling than like Olympic hockey, or even like if you smaller scale it with like the World Juniors and how involved like all of Canada and everybody is in like invested in these sports. Like, there's nothing different than hockey, especially when you get like the big names of the NHL. Like Cole was saying, they all garner their own fan bases that draw attention. So it's hockey. It's not close. The fighting, the goal scoring, the plays, it's everything that people want.
Ryan?
Listen, I agree Olympic hockey is the best international tournament, but we brought up the best of the best. And until Russia's allowed back into the Olympics, it is not the best international tournament, in my opinion.
That's
So
valid.
even with World Juniors, same thing. You don't have Russia and whatever, I think Belarus or whatever. It's not best of the best. So you can't even say it's the best overall tournament. So right now, as cliche as it is, the World Cup of Hockey is the best tournament because it's the last event that had the best of the best, including Team North America, which I don't know if they're running it back in 2028, but until basically Russia and all those countries are allowed back in, the Olympics won't be best of the best.
Joey?
I'm thinking soccer. The World Cup and that stuff for soccer or whatever it is. Soccer's, or I guess football. It's one of the most popular sports worldwide, not just in North America. There's a lot of heavy bias in North America when it comes to hockey and their own sports like baseball, especially with American football and that stuff. But when it comes to soccer, it really does bring a whole world together, and it's very vibrant, very energetic. And like me personally, I don't really enjoy, or I don't really get too excited watching soccer, but I've played soccer before and it's a lot of fun. And if you're a person who understands the game and has a country to root for, then it's a lot of fun to kind of fill those shoes and kind of gain a perspective of that.
So for me, my honest opinion is obviously best on best hockey, like the Olympics is top notch, is the best. However, we went a long time without having Olympic hockey. So I can't put the Olympics or like having NHL players. I can't put the Olympics at the top solely because it just happened for a long time and we hadn't had it before. And I didn't watch the Olympics when the NHL players weren't there. Same with the World Cup of Hockey. Hasn't happened in like 10 years. For me, the best international tournament to watch is the World Juniors because I like watching the prospects of your favorite NHL team, whether it's, I'm a Penguins fan, so the Penguins prospects, guys that are coming up in the draft. And then, you get all these unknown guys from other countries, these undrafted guys, these 7th round draft picks that have amazing tournaments and can help themselves to superstardom. Or you have the other side where these guys have amazing tournaments and then never become anything, like a Tyler Steenbergen. And I just think that idea is the most exciting to me.
Tyler Steenbergen's a crazy pull. I love that.
For our next topic, we're talking about NBA load management and can it be fixed? And if so, how can it be fixed? So in case you don't know what we're talking about, load management is basically when teams that are already in the playoffs or even teams that are kind of out of the playoffs sit their best players to either not injure them or if they're a team that's shit to lose more games so they can get a better draft pick. It's been a highly criticized problem for a few years now. Recently, Giannis Antetokounmpo has been sitting, and fans are not too happy about this because obviously they're buying tickets to watch these guys play. They're not paying to watch the fucking ninth guy on the team play. Most of us aren't huge on basketball, but we do have one guy in this call who's a really big basketball fan. So, Logan, give us your opinion on the NBA load management problem.
All right. Well, first off, Cody, I do pay to watch the ninth man on the bench. You telling me I love watching me some Neemias Queta or some Baylor Shireman buckets, bro. Like, show your bench warmers some love. But yeah, load management's definitely an issue in the NBA. It's been more so as of late. I understand, like, I get the base of load management. Like, I know the Spurs in like their dynasty era and like the early 2010s were big on load management towards the end of the season. Resting your players for the playoffs when you've already clinched. Not a bad idea. But if you're the OKC Thunder and you're sitting half your roster for like a mid-season game against like the Pacers, like I get the Pacers aren't good, but at that point, like start your players and then like maybe sit them later once you get ahead. Because yeah, that's one big point you brought up was like fans pay to watch like LeBron James, they pay to watch Kawhi Leonard, they pay to watch James Harden, like they pay to watch all these big stars, and they feel cheated because they paid so much. Um, it hurts the entertainment value of the NBA as well. Obviously, people aren't watching. And then I think the big issue also is like players' accolades themselves because the NBA has they have a 65 game requirement to qualify for any awards, which hurts a lot of like great players, as like who fall victim to load management or injuries. Like you look at the MVP race this year, due to like load management stuff, like you got like Cade Cunningham is sitting, I think, third in MVP race right now, which like don't get me wrong, he's balling this year, but like Wemby might miss out on it. He's having a better year. Luka's having a better year. He might miss out on it. Jokic is going to have a better year. He should probably be the MVP, but he's not. He might not even reach the requirement. So like load management is definitely hurting. It also sends a bad, like my last point is going to be it sends a bad message to young athletes, showing them like instead of, working hard and going out and competing every night, you can just, make it and then kick your fucking feet back. And there's nothing the NBA is going to do about it because they've yet to really start fining people for this. And I think that's something they probably should implement moving forward to fix the issue. But yeah, not a great thing going on in the NBA.
So looking aside from like the actual like the good teams doing it to avoid their bench players, do you think that teams also do it to like make themselves shittier? Like like for example, the Mavericks last year. Like, do you think that they other teams do it to help themselves tank?
100%. Like tanking is also a big issue. Like as the Mavs fan in the room, watching us sit like all of our players to tank for a rough pick at the end of the year. I mean, it worked out pretty well. I love Cooper Flag. I remember running around. I remember running around my house with my shirt off when we got the number one pick because I was so hyped about it. But tanking's also an issue because like when you're about to like bottom out. Like you look at like the Utah Jazz, especially this year. The Jazz have been tanking like absolute mad. They don't play any of their starters in the fourth quarter, and they give up like 20-point leads because of it. They don't put their players back in when it gets close. So tanking is also a lot more of an issue because like it's the same thing as the load management. Like people aren't seeing what they want to see. It's hurting players with their accolades. It's hurting careers. And all for what? Like so you can drop from the first odds to the fifth pick and pick up some guy who's going to play in the league for 3 years and then be out of it because he wasn't that good. Like I feel like there's got to be some like anti-tanking thing. Maybe you fine teams or even just take picks if it's that blatantly obvious at that point. Like it's got to be stopped at some point. Or like I know I bring this up a lot in conversations even outside of this, but kind of with like what the PWHL it does, where like once you're eliminated, like games count towards your draft odds. I know it's stupid I bring it up all the time, but it's not a half bad idea to implement moving forward, I don't think.
Did any of you guys have any more opinions on this?
Yeah. Load management, my opinion on it. You're an athlete. You're blessed. You get paid a lot of money. You should be playing when you're healthy, um, or at least if you're capable of playing. I think load management and like Kerr said at one point, I think it was back in October, Coach Pop, he's the pioneer of all this. He's the one who started all this with the Spurs. Unless you're coming off of like a major injury, like we'll go with Tatum and all of them, and if you're coming off like a major ACL tear, Achilles tear, like you should be allowed. Like I get that, but or even like some of the vets in the league, some of the older guys, like I can understand on back to backs you don't want to start one or play one, but I think load management's kind of a joke. Again, you get paid a lot of money to play. Look at some of these other sports and some of these athletes who are playing through stuff. And not to go back to it, but like you'll look at some of these guys in hockey, they're playing on broken feet, broken legs in the playoffs. These NBA guys are spraining a thumb and they're out for 4 weeks. So I think load management's kind of a joke. I know Steve Kerr said earlier this month he thinks the NBA should bring the games from 82 to 72. I don't really see how that's a difference if you compare it to the other sports that play just as many, if not more. The only thing I do agree with, honestly, is the award qualifiers that you need to get the major like league awards with the 65 games, I think, or 65%, whatever it was. I think that's the smartest thing. And in terms of tanking, I know there was talks of abolishing the NBA draft. I think that's so stupid, to be honest, because it will turn into like I know it will turn into some sort of international like money pool type of thing that like the MLB does. I don't see how that's really going to work because the rich are going to get richer and the teams that don't spend, they're not going to spend. But yeah, that's my opinion on load management in the NBA. I just think it's stupid.
It's a take.
So
Fair take. I like that take.
I actually okay. So I was just looking something up, and
Yep.
they're actually making a new rule starting next season about it's going to be a strict anti-tanking rule. So more or less, did you guys see this yet?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember seeing some shit about Adam Silver in that.
So they're going to be so basically what's going to happen is so instead of like the lottery odds being based off the end of the season at the trade deadline, that's going to be like the odds for the draft, which is kind of odd. But also, I guess when's the trade when's the trade deadline in the
It's
NBA?
already passed.
No,
It's
like
already
compared to the end of the season though. Is it like hockey, kind of the same point?
no, it's
It,
mid-season. It's
it,
mid-season.
it, it
Mid-season?
always happens before, usually always happens before the NHL one.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then as well as too, there's another rule they're including that if you've had back-to-back bottom three finishes, you can't have a top four pick.
See, I don't
I
know if I
don't,
necessarily agree with that one though.
I
Yeah,
don't.
that
I
one's
think you
odd.
can't just rebuild in a year and expect a
Yeah.
team to
Yeah, that's
not
odd.
finish bottom
Yeah,
six.
because say you look at a team like the Wizards. The Wizards have been at the bottom of the Eastern Conference since since what John Wall tore his ACL. Like they've been in such a rebuild for years. Like they're not good. They don't sign marquee free agents. Everyone they bring in is old and washed. Like Chris Middleton never did anything for them. CJ McCollum never did anything for them. Like Trey Young hasn't looked great in a couple games he's played, and Anthony Davis isn't even playing this year. So like their young guys are good, but they're also inconsistent. Is their issue?
All right, so we're gonna have to move on from this topic. We've been talking about this one for a little too long.
Well,
It's been like 10 minutes, but we're gonna kind of segue into a similar idea here about tanking. Do you guys think that tanking actually works? Obviously, each league has their own rules for the draft and the draft lottery. You know, you can't move up certain picks, you can't move down certain picks, blah 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 blah. So, do you guys believe that tanking as a whole, if you do it right, can you actually do it right, or are you just kind of wasting a season?
It depends on the league, honestly.
It also
Like
depends on the team.
Yeah, it also comes down to like draft luck lottery or draft odds because like I know I keep going back to basketball, but you look at like a couple years ago when the Pistons won like what 8 games in a year, and they still ended up with the 5th overall pick. Like you're blatantly terrible and you're tanking the whole season just to end up at pick 5, and then you're just stuck in more mediocrity. They're lucky their guys have developed and they've obviously gotten out of it. But like when you go to a team like when you go to a league like the NFL and you blatantly tank, you're the worst team, and you end up with that first overall pick, and you get that like franchise altering quarterback or your wide receiver or whoever the hell you pick with the first overall pick. Like it's a lot easier to build a team when the draft odds are straight instead of more of a lottery.
My take on this, you guys know, I've talked about the stupid fucking NHL draft lottery. I think, though, when a league tries to step in and remove tanking, sometimes they make it worse because, like, the NHL draft lottery, you can only move down, like, what is it, like 2-3 spots? So, like, if you're picking first, like, if you're last in the league, you're still fucking picking, like, third overall. And if you're, like, 13th place and you win the lottery, you're picking like third. So they're basically influencing people to want to finish lower in the standings. So I think the NHL does it drastically wrong, and they need to actually go back to how they had it before, where you could just fucking win the lottery. The way I look at it, as they should do it, is instead of just picking a lottery winner, they should pick every position. So like they'll start with first pick and then second pick, third pick, because the odds will still remain the same, but teams will actually just be moving up and down as the names get drawn out. Like if you're last place, you still have a better chance of getting first place, right? But if your name doesn't get picked, you could still fall to fucking 8th. And I think that's going to eliminate tanking altogether. Because I think, especially with the way the NHL has it set up, I think it can work if you do it right. All right, so now we're moving on to a sport that none of us really know about. Except obviously Cole's a big fan.
Bit, yeah.
I
know a little bit.
This came on the news today. F1 set, what is it? Set to cancel Bahrain and Saudi Arabia races amid the Iran war. Obviously, we all know what's going on in Iran. It makes sense, I think, as to why they would do it. To me, it's obvious, like it's dangerous for pretty much everybody in the Middle East, even in parts of Europe. Like it's kind of risky at this point in time. But Cole, as our F1 expert, give us your take on the whole thing.
Here's the page.
It was definitely probably the best idea, especially because the races are literally, I think Bahrain was the 12th, and then Saudi Arabia is the 19th, so they're back to back. But one thing a lot of people don't realize is that they actually have to send they have multiple cars already made. It's not like they use the same car every single race. They'll ship one-offs that region where they're going, because they're going from right now they're in China, so they'll have another car that would be going over to the Middle East. So that's part of the reason why they cancel as well, is because they don't want to send stuff over that can get damaged or have to get it sent right back, which would cost a lot of money. Because from what I could find, it costs $14 million a year just to ship stuff to all the different race tracks, which works out to being about $500,000 per race. So then to do that, it'd be almost $1 million being wasted. But one thing a lot of people aren't realizing either, so they also did say that the season would now go from 24 to 22 races. But what another problem is that in November, they're back in the Middle East for Qatar and Saudi Arabia, which finishes off the whole the season. And those could even get canceled possibly earlier, depending on if, say, the tracks get damaged, or as well as pretty close to the closer to the race. But I did think, though, of a couple of different replacements. If, say, the last race got canceled, to not make it go from a 22 now to a 20 race season, would be the Hockenheimring in Germany, or Imola, which literally got taken out this year, and as well as Portugal, which I think the last time they raced in Portugal was 2020, 2021, something like that.
It was during COVID.
During COVID time? Yeah, it's during COVID, yeah. Which, and all those are still certified under the FIA, so they're able to race there. They already have the pass. Because I think even the Germany, they did that one in 2018, I think, as well. Which then, which those are options. And another race too. They can even also still lose the new track in Madrid, because that's not even done yet. So they could still end up losing and not being able to race. Thank you. That's good.
Little intermission here. What's this?
But
Yep.
that made me a little. Well,
Little,
There you go.
little,
Speaking of F1
little guest
here.
appearance from Ken
Little
Sykes.
guest appearance from
I'm
Ken
keeping that
Sykes.
in there because you were talking it when it happened. I'm keeping that in
How
there.
nice of Ken to take a break from his farming simulator to come.
That's
to
kind
come
of
say what
sick. That's kind of sick, though. That's kind of cool.
That's true.
It's
All
got
right,
about
so
as much.
Can I add a question here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't obviously, Cole, you're not going to know the answer to this, but all this stuff that's going on right now, do you think F1 is going to look into the future and maybe cut out these parts of the league, like in terms of where the races are located, and go elsewhere? Or do you think they're just going to bring the race, like the tracks, back in next year?
Let me
Based on
answer
the
this.
results.
Let me answer this.
I'll
Let me
fit.
let me answer this.
What?
No,
Okay, that's weird.
no. Saudi
No,
Arabia,
definitely not.
especially, has so much fucking money in it. You got to remember, these are money makers, man. Saudi Arabia puts their fist in everything. They don't care. You think if Saudi Arabia comes to F1 and says, hold your whole season in Saudi Arabia, don't leave Saudi Arabia, we'll give you $3 billion. You don't think they're going to fucking take that? You think they give a shit about the bombings? No. No. It's not going to change a damn thing.
And here's the thing. So I'm really looking at an article that was released literally 2 hours ago. And they literally said that they still haven't ruled out the possibility of even going back this season if they can. Because they also take like I think it's like a 6-week break for like a summer break. But because of these two races being canceled, they actually created like I think a 4 or 5 week break now. So I think what they also may do is just kind of make that their summer break, even though it's literally like not even 10 races into the year. And they may just and just shift around and put the races later on. Because like Cody said, the Saudi Arabia, like they pay so much money to have these races happen there, and as well as to these tracks. They're set up for like months on end over there. Because they have 2 different series as well during this time. So since F1's not going, that means like everyone else will just cancel, which that means that they lose a lot of money in return. But I'm sure they'll end up going back. They've even talked about in the past just expanding the schedule, making it go past 24 into like 26, maybe even like 28 races, I believe.
So, Cole, obviously you're a big F1 fan. And you're a big motorsports fan in general, right?
No, more just F1.
Just mostly
Big.
F1. But okay, anyways, but you've watched
Well, I've
like
seen other ones
yeah.
though.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this is going to
absolutely.
be a question, like, obviously you'll have the best answer, but I think there's a question for everybody. Which motorsport do you guys think is the worst to watch? And Cole, we'll start off with you because you'll have the best answer for this. Which is the worst one to watch?
For me personally, honestly, it's kind of probably like NASCAR, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like I used to, like I don't like under for me like I like understanding strategies of like whatever I'm watching, and that's why like I've won the most. It's because it's most like it's really all strategy. Where like I know now like in NASCAR there is strategy involved, but like I just don't understand it enough.
Here's my
Well,
thing.
I
So
just
you guys
can't
all agree
watch.
it's NASCAR?
Yes.
it's just a
Yeah.
fucking circle.
I disagree with that. NASCAR, the reason I watch motorsports is for the wrecks. And NASCAR has some of the greatest wrecks that you'll ever see.
That's
See.
true.
And I don't think
that.
it's Formula One because those races are done super quickly. Like when we watched the F1 race, like whenever we watched it, that thing was over in like an hour. Like I like when it's nice and short. IndyCar for me, they race on a combination of NASCAR and F1 tracks to begin with. It's just like it's a slower, more boring version of Formula One to me. Like there's not as much money in it. It's just
But you're like anticipating for something crazy to happen in the midst of that, you know? 'Cause
it's a
so
weird.
long.
No, IndyCar's a weird sport for me to watch. NASCAR, especially Talladega and Daytona, you know something's gonna happen, and that makes it so exciting. It's like watching a hockey game, and you know a brawl's gonna break out. That's how I feel
Yeah.
watching some of these NASCAR races. Obviously, I don't really like the road courses in NASCAR. I don't really like some of the short tracks in NASCAR, but like especially the super speedways when they're going 200 miles an hour, those races can be fucking exciting. All right, so our next headline, this one's not as recent as some of these others, but it's still pretty big news, especially for us as hockey fans. Not me so much, Penguins fan. Logan's Penguins fan as well. Joey's a Canadians fan, but Cole and Hendo, this is a big conversation for them. And the three of us will also chime in on this. But Auston Matthews' injury, I don't know. If you guys don't follow hockey, Auston Matthews is like the star of the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of the most popular players in the sport. Just won a gold medal for U.S. But he just got a season-ending knee injury due to a dirty hit. Here, let me actually pull up the... here's the article right here. Matthews out for season for Maple Leafs with grade 3 MCL tear. He's going to be done for a while. This is the same guy that injured fucking Sidney Crosby in the Olympics, so I actually have a little bit to talk about with this. But also, the guy only got suspended for 5 games, which is kind of a low suspension, considering that he ended this guy's season. And it was, you can go watch the video. I'm not going to pull it up. I don't have it pulled up on here, but it's a dirty fucking play. Like
it's intentional, too.
It's an obvious knee. And people are kind of complaining about the player department, like the player safety department, and how they're kind of giving these chintzy-ass suspensions. Same with Evgeny Malkin, fucking two-handing a guy, got like 3 games or 5. What did he get?
I think it's 5.
5 games. That's still kind of a chintzy fucking suspension for it. But I kind of just want your guys' take on kind of the situation and more so dive into the NHL player safety department and kind of your opinions on it.
All right, so Matthews tearing his MCL, honestly, is probably the best case scenario in this whole, like out of that whole play that happened. He could have torn his ACL and he could have been gone for 9 months. Tearing his MCL, he's done for the season. Whatever, the Leafs were on the outside looking in anyways in playoffs and the whole tanking stuff, whatever. The thing is, this is Gudas's, and like Cody just said, it's his second offense of injuring a star player within the last month. And he ended Crosby's Olympics, and Crosby's out until the end of March. So you got to play that into a factor. And in his career, Gudas has now racked up 26 he's racked up 26 games worth of suspensions in 5 separate incidents, and he's lost a total of $855,000 in salary.
Yep.
To me, the biggest thing that like about this whole situation is it's not only your team star player, it's your captain, and he's getting a season-ending injury. Now, obviously, not known at the time of the knee on knee when it happened. But there's 4 other guys on the ice, and not one stepped in to defend their captain. And I don't care if you're the Nick
Cowan.
Robertson on the team. I don't care if you're the Cowan on the team. I don't care if you're the Nylander on the team. There were 4 guys on that ice, and someone should have jumped in.
Someone needs to be
I agree.
Someone needs to be a Nick Foligno when fucking John Tavares got kneed in the back of the head by Corey Perry. I don't care if you don't want to fight. You fucking have to. You have to in that situation.
The thing too, though, but Cowan was a whole separate incident. But the thing is when you do something like that and you don't stand up for your guy, it just shows it shows a weak side of the team. And teams are going to keep teams are going to keep getting away with doing it because they know you're not going to do anything. For instance, literally just the other day too, Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Don't know if anyone saw any of that.
Yeah,
it was like over 100 penalties.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Brandon Hagel's going after Rasmus Dahlin, the captain, and after he goes after him, Josh Doan literally jumped in and started feeding Brandon Hagel.
Nail gun.
Like you said, I don't care if you're the shittiest, smallest player. I don't care if you're 5'7", $120, soaking fucking wet. And Radko Gudas is not a small dude. He's not a small dude. And you're probably going to get your shit rocked. But you have to do something.
Even like a slash or a cross check, you don't even have to like drop the gloves. Just start something.
You have to do something. That's your captain.
Show some heart.
It's a difference if it's like a 4th line guy, whatever. Like you still should like maybe slash him a little bit, don't fucking do that. But this is your best player, the best player you might have ever had in franchise history.
And a player that you build around too.
Yes. This is your first overall pick in like what 30? What was he like 30 years? Their first first overall pick.
Yeah.
Like this is
Something
your
like that.
generational player. Like I said, the greatest player you've ever had, and you stand around and watch. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And the thing too, to get at the whole Department of Safety thing, I think it is brutal that it was a phone hearing, knowing that if it's a phone hearing, it's a max of 5 games they can give you. Where if it's an in-person hearing, I think it's a minimum of 3 or minimum of 5, something like that, and they can extend it.
Mhm.
I think like was the suspension too light in terms of discipline? Maybe. The Leafs seem to think that with some of the stuff that they've come out and argued about. Especially arguing about Gudas being a repeat offender in the league. Like 5, I get he's been in the league for a while, but 5 different incidents, and it's in 5 incidences he's had 26 total game suspensions. Like if that was McDavid, is it an in-person hearing? Like obviously, like the league could look at it differently based off of who it is. Like, is that a conspiracy? Who knows? Um, but I think the Leafs are right. I think it should have been an in-person hearing. I'm like bias aside, like he didn't even try to avoid or make a hit, and it just accidental. It was blatantly like knee on knee. He didn't even he purposely did that.
Yeah, that was intentional.
There's a difference between being like a goon and then just being a fucking like intent to injure.
So on that topic, unless anybody else has something to say. Nobody else has anything to say. So on that topic now, because obviously this was a season-ending injury, I want to hear, and we'll go through everybody. I want an opinion on this. We'll start with Cole on this one. Worst injuries that ruined a season. It can be just like an absolute gruesome fucking guy just annihilates his leg, snaps it in half, or even a guy who was on like pace to be the MVP in the league or something like that, where it's like just, you know what I talk about, like just a disappointing, depressing injury. So like I said, we'll start with Cole on this one. What's in your opinion, one of the worst injuries that have ruined a player's season?
You know the one that always like comes to mind when you said that was I believe. Oh my god, I think Logan, help me out here. I think it was Paul George. Was he the one that like
On
went
Team
to
USA,
he like jumped up? Yeah,
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 Paul George fucking broke his leg in half.
yeah. That was
was
one of the
worse.
grossest things
That
I've
was
probably
bad.
seen.
Yeah,
Injuries don't really bother me, but that one was nasty.
yeah.
I was not, yeah.
All right,
That
Logan,
was
Probably
one of
that
the
one.
most
what's your
gruesome
take on
injuries.
this?
Uh, well, I mean, I go more basketball, obviously, because that's kind of my specialty sport here. I know everyone brings up like Derrick Rose in 2011 or 2012 after, game one of the playoffs, blowing his ACL out and the Bulls bow out in the first round. Like, and they were supposed to be on that collision course with LeBron and everybody in Miami in that Eastern Conference and make that push. You could talk like even more of like bias recently. And it's not really like season, but like just blowing it at the wrong time was like 2024. I believe in the conference finals or whatever. I know Luca ended up like blowing his knee or something in his leg, and that ended up him not playing as well in the finals against the Celtics, and the Mavs ended up losing there. But that also comes to mind. But that also just hits close to home because I'm just a Mavs fan. So
All right, Ryan.
I think one of the worst ones, and like this is like the last couple of games of the year, was Game 5 and Game 6 when Clay tore his ACL and Durant
that
ruptured his
Raptors
Achilles against the
championship year,
Raptors.
yeah, no, yeah.
Like if those injuries don't happen, would the end of the season look different for Golden State? Maybe. Like there, you won't know. But to turn it around, though, I did add a part of what injuries could have saved a season. And in 2017, the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 14, Carson Wentz tore his ACL against the LA Rams. If
Nick
Carson
Foles,
Wentz doesn't tear his ACL, do they go on and win the Super Bowl that year? Who knows? But Nick Foles came into the starting role and just dominated the whole time, beat New England in the Super Bowl, pulled out the Philly special and
really
everything.
special, baby. What a time.
All right, Joey.
I'm gonna go for something else. I'm gonna go with Patrick Laine's concussion with his open ice hit. So all you guys are talking about what happens to teams and that stuff, but we're talking about a guy Patrick Laine on a team, in a rookie year in his younger years in the NHL, and I'm thinking about what that does to the player versus what that does to the team. So you have a second round pick, second round pick or second overall pick, first
It's like,
round.
why is second overall, man? He wasn't second
Yeah,
pick.
no, yeah, my bad. I got that mixed up. But you got this guy that, in these drafts that you tank for and that stuff, whether you have a good or a bad season, whether you have a good or a bad team, you want your draft picks to matter, especially if they're at least top three picks that you want to surround your team around and that stuff and build a franchise with. And once Patrick Laine got that concussion, his name has almost been unheard of in the league. He's with Montreal right now, and they're thinking of trading him. I don't know if he's already traded or not. I'm not really involved in a lot of that sports stuff,
No, he's still there.
but
He's
yeah,
still
he's
there.
still there. But there's talk about moving him, and it's just because of what those kind of injuries do to a player that not only sacrifice his role as his own individual role on the team, but how the team kind of surrounds themselves around that person. So you have a I guess he was in Austin Matthews' draft a year. Um, Probably thought of a generational talent with his shot, with his size. He could be used for a lot of stuff. And he gets this concussion. He's out for a long time. And not only does that concussion mess with like your development, especially within the head, but it also messes with a part of yourself as well as a hockey player. You get these scares. One of the wide receivers on I don't know, I think it's Seattle or whatever, but he got an injury, right, with his knee, and every time he catches the ball, he drops down to the ground out of fear that he's going to
Yeah.
get hit. Who?
JSN.
Yeah, no, not Jason. No, no, no,
No, I'm pretty sure it's JSN. I could be
no.
wrong,
This was like
but
a while ago. It's either New England or Seattle, I think, maybe Denver. I forget, but even
no,
that,
it
it's
was on
not
Seattle because they talked about it in the playoffs this year.
really okay. So maybe that I was. This was like a while ago, but who knows? Who cares? But my point is not only what the injury does to the team, but to the person itself, how they lose that star power. This huge superstar, this huge reigning star coming up, comes into the league. He's projected to do well, and then all of a sudden he hits this road bump. And then all of a sudden that just shipwrecks his whole career, not just his season, his whole career. And that's happened to a lot of hockey players and a lot of just football, basketball players, probably. NCAA guy for Michigan or whatever. He got hit, paralyzed or whatever. He's got all these memory disabilities and that stuff, and that just completely ruined the trajectory of his career, and that affects people's lives, not only his but his family's. There's legacies. It affects the team morale in a positive way or a negative way. It's either we do this for someone or we lost this because of someone's loss. So that's what I think, not only just with the injuries and what happened to the team, but what happened to that player and just the rest of their career in general as well. You got to think about that too.
My answer is kind of similar to that. Obviously, one of the more tragic ones. Like both of these are recent. The Damar Hamlin one, obviously, not much you can fucking do there. The
Yeah.
guy had a heart condition he didn't fucking know about. But
Hmm.
because Joey was talking about a superstar, and this one was season ending because of when it happened, and it happened at the worst possible fucking time. But Tyrese Halliburton last year just annihilating his fucking Achilles in
Yeah.
Game 7.
I watched that shit. I watched that
That-
shit live at Shocks. I remember watching this guy on the ground, and I'm just like, no fucking way.
That is
Yeah.
especially
Heartbreaking.
Game 7, first quarter. The Pacers still had a chance of winning, and then
Guy was on fire. Guy was on fire. He was like shooting like 80% to that point.
And then
that-
you can also think about Crosby in the Olympics too, just recently.
But for me though,
Boba
because
in the playoffs.
Bo Bichette was injured before the playoffs, but the
I
I know, but
Halliburton one.
still, the longevity of that injury just really limited the success of that. Or like, who knows what could have happened?
The
But anyways,
difference
I'll let
with
you keep
Bo
going.
Bichette is, though, even when he played, he didn't make a huge difference to the team. But Halliburton was the Pacers, and you see it this year.
Yeah.
They suck this year without him.
They also lost Miles Turner in free agency, though. So
Yeah,
they
but
lost
still, Halliburton being out for that long, especially
Yeah.
because not only are you losing your best player, but that rattles your team. You just watched, like, again, your superstar go down, and he's done. and you know he might not ever play again. You're thinking in that instance. You don't know what you're thinking in that instance. And you're in the biggest game that you've ever played in. That's got to be one of the worst injuries that I've ever seen happen.
Especially like being him, like being a point guard, kind of adds
and just
to
seeing
it
his
more.
reaction to that as well, like how he just everything fell apart right in his hands, right in his heart. Like,
You watch the rest of that game, you see like the Pacers are still trying to compete, but you can see that OKC is running away with that game.
And it's a similar idea to DeMar Hamlin. Like, how the fuck do you continue a game after that? Yeah. Obviously, you have to, but how do you?
Well, no, they didn't.
I'm talking about the Pacers. I'm talking about the Pacers.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you have to finish that game.
Yeah.
But it's like, you've already lost. In that moment, it doesn't matter. It could be your shittiest player, but still, losing a player that drastically, the shittiest player, if it's a 10th guy, might not have as big of an impact as obviously your superstar does.
Team.
Yeah, that rattles your team in the biggest game they've ever played. Like, you're going like this. It's going to be a great game, and then you just lose your player, and now all of your momentum's fucking gone. All right, so now we're moving on from headlines of the week. Those were some of the biggest headlines that we saw, at least today. But now we're doing something kind of, I don't know if it's different, but I think it's a cool idea. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Winners and losers of the week. So I have here listed 3 winners of the week and 3 losers of the week. And we're kind of talk about how they're winners and how they're losers, obviously. So we'll start with my first one here. I have Bam Adebayo. This one's kind of obvious. I mean, the guy broke fucking Kobe's record, 83 points. I mean, and then continued to have like the biggest fall off in consecutive games. But that's going to happen when you put up 83 points. You're not going to put up 83 every single game. Next, I have baseball as a whole, because as we talked about earlier, right now the World Baseball Classic is doing baseball, a sport that gets viewership, but not really, because the season is so long. Like, the viewers, it goes up in the playoffs, but it's not really there during the regular season. It's kind of like this. But right now, especially because, the NHL season's kind of in like that weird period. NFL, there's nothing going on. Same with NBA. It's in that weird period now. So baseball, all eyes are on the World Baseball Classic right now. And for my third winner, this one's kind of a niche reference, but Ontario hockey fans will understand this. The Saginaw Spirit last night clinched the OHL playoffs without having to win a fucking game. So the Sarnia Sting and Saginaw were 10 points away with 5 games left. Saginaw had to win had to literally get 1 point, and Sarnia had to win every single game in order for Saginaw to not make the playoffs. Saginaw didn't play last night. Sarnia played, lost. Saginaw, therefore, clinches the OHL playoffs without actually having to fucking do anything. So what are your guys' takes on the winners of this week?
I think I'll step in, obviously, for, basketball specialty. I'll go for Bam, but, it's obvious to say he's a winner. You're breaking the modern NBA scoring record. To a lot of people, like Hendo, I know included, it's the best scoring performance of all time, because not a lot of people are really shaky on Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, because no one has the footage. So it could really just be a massive conspiracy theory. But obviously, to be Bam Adebayo, it's such a weird list when you look at, top game scores of all time, and you just see Bam. Great player, great defensive player, multiple time All-Star, but I don't think anybody had him dropping 83 on a random-ass fucking night against the Wizards.
To be fair, he did have 50 free throws, so that helps.
Yeah, he shot so many free throws, man.
But listen, so many people were complaining about it because he broke Kobe's record for the modern day record. I don't see an issue with it. Records are meant to be broken.
I think people just have an issue with the fact that he shot so many free throws. If you're going out there and you're getting buckets,
don't foul him next time.
Yeah,
it's like a hero shot. You got to be a hero versus it's just a normal day in the office shooting free throws and whatever. It's they don't ask how many, they just ask how you do it, right?
It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Nobody looks at Ovi breaking Gretzky's goal record and says, "Wow, how many of those were on the power play?" Nobody fucking asks that. It's part of the game. Don't foul the guy if you don't want him to score free throws, or take it out of the fucking game.
And to add to that too, I've seen a lot of criticism about breaking Kobe's record. Nobody complained about Ovi breaking Gretzky's record. Gretzky was there to watch it. Everyone wanted him to break it. It's cool to see a record broken.
I think the issue is just because Kobe's dead and he's a
Yeah.
generational talent and he's a hero to a lot of past NBA players, a mentor, someone to look up to, and then a hero to the modern day of basketball as well, especially with the impact that Kobe has had in the not only the game of basketball, but just the ethic that he brought towards the game and just how that also reflects on not only basketball, but in life as well, right? So Kobe has touched not only athletes' lives, but just regular people's lives as well. So, I mean, I
If
don't
it
even
if
know
it
anything
wasn't
about
Kobe's
Bam.
record, nobody would give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it was
that
Shaq,
too.
if it was Magic Johnson, if it was Hakeem Olajuwon, nobody gives a shit. It's because it's Kobe, and obviously,
Yeah.
like what happened to him is tragic.
Even if he broke Chamberlain's 100-point record, nobody's going to complain about it. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I will bring up is that I feel like there's a lot of like basketball people and like players and fans, they're really sensitive. Like I think they're just and that stuff. That's just me, dude, just seeing basketball players play and that stuff.
I'm not gonna have the
I
same
just
real
think they're the
quickly at
big
the end
I
here.
think they're
Like,
big dude, like all bark, no bite. And but I think also with that kind of culture and background or whatever, I feel like also sparks an enragement of just these star players like Kobe getting his record broken by Bam, and we need some context behind this Bam guy. Like, who is this guy? Is he good? Is he not
yeah,
good? Did he have a good day?
I'm
Well,
solid, man.
yeah, he's a decent enough. He's not, top 5 in the league, but he's a decent enough player. He's not the guy you'd
Yeah.
expect to break it, but I'm glad it
Yeah,
happened, honestly. Do we
Because, like,
have Oh, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Like Bam was like what, top 4? He was a lottery pick in his year. Developed well, became. He's a multiple time All Star. Like
Yeah, that's
DPOY
so
conversations year to
Neil
year. Like
Yakupov was the first overall pick. Where you get drafted means jack all.
still, he
yeah.
was a good player.
Listen, Kaprizov was a 5th-round pick, and look at him.
So, do we have any opinions on winners, or should we move on to the losers?
Roll spirit, baby.
Just move on.
Move on to the losers. So, for the losers, we have, for obvious reasons, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Losing your best player, that's a big loss. NHL Player Safety Department for only giving 5 games to the guy that injured the Leafs' best player. And the third loser, and this one's the funniest to me, I laughed when I wrote this down, the Atlanta Falcons, solely because they signed Tua. Do we have any opinions on this?
I think for the
Listen.
Falcons, it's a lose-lose situation. You got Gino. No, who was the quarterback?
Michael Penix? Or
Yeah,
Tua?
you had Michael
They
Penis
also had Kirk Cousins
and
on a
Kirk
massive
Cousins.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got Penix and absolute Cruck. Didn't do anything for the Falcons.
It
And
could
it's like Line, bro. You get concussed, you're now chronically ill, dude. It's legitimate, man. Like I've had 5 concussions, and y'all know I'm not the brightest. And it's like the same thing happens to Tua, and just when we're talking about the conversations and like in the past segments about like the injuries and that stuff with all these players, it's like the same thing goes with these quarterbacks or any position in sports in general, how it just chronically affects you, especially if it's a head injury, because it messes with your mind. And then you won't be able to adapt to the best of your ability. Doesn't matter if you're healthy, your brain needs time to recover. And it doesn't help when you consecutively and consistently keep getting upper body contact hits. Doesn't matter how good the helmets are or how specific they are to each role on the football field. It's still a cause to injury. And like to me, it's just a lose-lose just because of just the team.
I think just to quickly add on to it, Tua is a high risk, high reward for Atlanta.
Agreed.
It's a 1-year contract. It's either going to be a one and done, or you can look at some of these other guys that have found success. Look at Sam Darnold, passed around the league a little bit, went to Minnesota the last couple of years, balled out, took him to the playoffs, and
Yep.
then going to Seattle this year, and he's winning a Super Bowl in his first year.
Nails.
It's just a
Man, we
high
celebrate
risk,
that
high
one.
reward. It could
Well,
work out, it may not.
Well, here's the thing, though, too, right? for one, they only signed him to a $1.2 million contract for the year, so that's nothing. Especially for them, how they paid Kirk Cousins to sit literally in the stands half the
That's just for a
time.
medical bill. That's why. That's
So
Yeah.
I guess the question is now: am I the idiot for putting them on as the losers?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think. No. But here's my thing. No, I don't necessarily think though they're not necessarily losing because like he has been in the league for a few years. So like, and he's been like he was in a good system with Mike McDaniel's. So like I think he understands football. I just obviously his injuries have set him back a lot. So I think him just being there will be helpful for Michael Penix Jr., who could be. And that's the thing too is they haven't said who's starting yet. So
I
if he's
think
not ready, it's a good safety blanket for at least a week or two having Tua there to be
I
able to
think
play.
it's a good loser just for the sole fact of you don't know what you're gonna get, and like
Nothing's guaranteed.
yeah.
When I put it on there,
That's-
I
yeah,
looked at
that's-
it this way. I put it on this way. I'm like, this guy has done jack fuck for the last few years. There's no way there wasn't a better option out there.
You know what? We should be adding Tua as a winner just for getting a contract.
Yes,
contract.
I will add. We'll have an
Tua's
honorary
a
winner. Tua
Tua's a winner.
for no, not Tua. Tua's agent for somehow finding an NFL team that wants him.
Where do you gauge Kyler Murray then with his new signing?
I don't know enough about
The Vikings,
Kyler
I think
Murray. I
that's
don't know about.
sick. That's going to help
That's
them a
don't
lot.
like
But don't they
Yeah,
already have
that'd be
JJ
good.
McCarthy?
JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy.
But
they've been
Dude,
Number
give him
nine?
time. You got to give him time, dude.
listen, the Atlanta Falcons are only a loser for the fact of there's other QB options out there they could have gone for, and they chose Tua on the first day of free agency.
Thank
Yeah,
you. That's why I put them on there. I'm glad I'm not an idiot. All right, we're moving on to the next segment here. This one's a fun segment. This is everybody I'm sure has talked about this at the bar, you know, hanging out with your friends, whatever. A couple beers in ya, you're talking about this. That's actually what happened.
Beers or whatever.
It's what happened to us the other day. We were chilling, you know. Definitely went to class. And we were,
Totally.
you know, sharing a couple drinks, and we came across the idea. And I'm titling this one, Could You Do These Things? So I got a list here of things that professional athletes do, or something that you do in a professional sports game. And I'm going to go around and we're going to just ask, do you guys think you could do these? So the first one, this is what started our argument the other day. Do you think you could gain a yard in the NFL?
Like a rushing, like we're talking rushing.
Gain
yard,
a rushing yard in the NFL?
We're not talking
Yes.
like fake a punt and walk 2
No,
yards.
we're
up
talking
the
they
field.
set you up
We're
at the
talking-
line of scrimmage. First and 10. First and
Yep.
10. You got to go. You don't have to go 10 yards. You got to gain a yard past the line of scrimmage. Normal, you know, fucking, I don't know football play, just a normal HB toss, whatever. Fucking run it. Gain a yard past the line of scrimmage. Do you think you could do it?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think you're delusional.
How?
I don't think
I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could do it, and I'm probably the fastest one in this group, and I don't think I could do it.
No, you're not the fastest.
I'll
I'm the
give
fastest.
my opinion to why I don't think I can do it for the sole fact of, aside of I've never played football, I don't have the football IQ. These guys have trained for years to do this stuff, and it may seem simple, but when you're starting maybe 3-4 yards back from the line of scrimmage, and you got to still run through a whole like either up the middle through a whole O line and a D line, or run on the outside. I just don't see it. For me, realistically, I don't see it happening.
And you're a bigger guy. Like I'm 130 pounds soaking wet. So I'm going to die if I get hit. I do not think I could gain a fucking yard in the NFL. Now, Cole, what do you think?
Because you're a football player.
No, it's not even that. It's you guys are making it sound like that literally you're gonna snap the ball and immediately have 5 guys coming at you to tackle you. You have people
kinda
there to
do, though.
block.
You have an O line.
But
You
these
gotta
guys
give them
have
a
trained.
lane for
These
you.
guys have trained since they were like 10 years old to do this, to take you out. There are professional. There are guys in college that are superstars in D1, D2, D3 that never make it to the NFL that couldn't even fucking do it. And you think sitting at home recording this fucking podcast that you yourself could do it. I could give you you could have a full season, because I have written on here, full season, consistent play time. You think you could do it? I still don't think you could do it.
I think I could.
You're making it sound like you're asking for like like a 10 yard, like a down. You're making it
like
1 yard is literally getting
like
to the
a
line of
punt
scrimmage and
return
falling
touchdown.
forwards. There's times where
One end
guys
to
will
end.
tackle you to gain it. You literally will guys will gain you will gain a yard because a guy tackled you to get forwards.
Yeah, but
Literally, you
I'm
hit the
not
line of
running through a
scrimmage
tackle.
and
I personally am not running through a tackle.
It's like
No,
the
you're not running
same
through a
question
tackle.
where
You
it's
don't
like,
need
would you
to.
rather like fight
It's
Mike
literally
Tyson for like 5 rounds of boxing for $1 million? It's like, would you do that
I
or
don't think I
not?
could
It's like
survive one round with Mike Tyson.
it depends on
So-
what you're willing.
Oh,
Joey froze.
nice. All right. Anyways, that was good because we have to move on from this
I'm
conversation.
willing to take a hit.
Oh,
I don't
he's
care
still
if
going.
professionals playing against you.
All right, we
Oh.
have other ones
Yeah,
in this list. This one's probably like the stupidest one, I think. Do you think you could hit for par on a PGA course?
No.
If we're talking like
Yeah.
par 3, yeah.
Well, yeah, because the part, like if it depends on what hole it
I
is.
don't
Hit for
think
par
so.
the whole. You have to go the
Realistically-
whole 18 holes. 18 holes of golf. You have to hit for par, not hit
No.
on one fucking hole. The
No.
whole course. You
Oh,
have to
hit
go
for
for par.
par. I thought you
No.
meant. Sorry, I thought you meant just get a par
No.
on a hole.
Nope.
Oh yeah, no, I can't even hit a par.
I've never gone golfing, but I'm shit at mini golf, so I think that's a no.
Well,
Anybody
if
here
you
think
have
yes?
a
No.
good golfer to hit par to begin with, let alone on a PGA course.
I
Golf
struggled.
goes out of skill and luck. Like that game, it's like I watch guys on YouTube like Bryson DeChambeau and like all these YouTube videos about putting. You send a ball down the same line, the same path, the same way. 3 different times you're gonna get 3 different outcomes just because of the slope and just because of whatever. Because all the greens are imperfect. None of the greens are built to be perfect. They're all made imperfect. So you have to be almost perfect or read a proper lie on a green, let alone even just with your technique on swinging a golf ball, right? And these are very long courses and they're supposed to be made complex. Like I watched the recap of Bryson DeChambeau, which is one of the most popular and rising golf stars in the sport, and then you got Rory McIlroy or whatever the heck his name is, but yeah, and they're just they are golf prodigies. Like they will beat your average Joe golfer by a mile, and these guys still shank balls into the rough, into the native grass, into the bunker. They miss putts, they miss chip shots. Like it's a game that no one can be perfect at.
All right. So nobody thinks they could do it?
No.
All right.
No.
Moving on.
No.
Again, remember, full season, consistent playing time. Do you think you could score a goal in the NHL?
Depends on who's on the line, but
This is the
could
one.
def-
This is the one I think I could fucking do. I think
Yeah.
I could do this. You can call me delusional. 82 games, 20 minutes a night, 25 minutes a night. I'm putting one in. I'll stand in front of the net and
Yeah.
just tip one. Eventually, it'll find the back of the fucking net. Eventually, you'll
Exactly.
find the back. I don't care who's defending. Obviously, these guys are much bigger than me, much better at hockey than me. They'll be able to box me out. But you will eventually find a collapse in the defense. You'll get lucky on a tap in or a tip or something, and you will find the back of the net
Exactly.
eventually.
Yep. I agree. I think I could do that too, just because knowing myself playing hockey. So I goalie coach and I shoot on goalies, and I got a pretty decent shot. I got a pretty good shot on me. But it's also the hockey sense in front of that too. So my only issue is that I don't know where to go on the ice, but I know how to score on a goalie, being a goalie myself. So it's also that kind of mind game where it's like, oh, where to shoot, what angles, what options, right? So that's what I think where I have an edge on it too.
Ryan, you look like you want to say something.
I think if I'm getting 20 minutes a night, I think I can get some stupid garbage goal at some point in an 82 game season. Whether it's
Yeah.
like a tip in, something off like the goalie, and it's a whole pile up and the puck's right in front of me. I think I can get something stupid. Now, do I think I can get more than one? Probably not. But I think I can get one.
Yes.
Logan, do you think you could score in the NHL?
yeah. If I'm doing this, yeah, 100%.
Is this one that we all agree on? We can move on to the next
Yeah.
one. Do you think in a full 162 game season you can make contact on an MLB pitcher? Don't have to put the ball in play. Don't have to get a base hit. Sorry, I'm wrong. You have to put the ball in play. You don't have to get a hit, but you have to put the ball in play. Do you think you could do it in a full 162 game season where you get 3 at bats a game?
Yes.
My
Yeah.
ass will try and bunt it.
That's what I'm saying. Or you're guaranteed to get a meatball down the middle eventually.
Yep. Especially with
You might end up with a first baseman pitching.
Yeah,
to you
I
at
was
some
about to say
point.
you're
Yeah.
bound to be like put in the game up 16-0, and you're gonna have Rowdy Tellez on the mound.
If
Yeah,
David
you're gonna
Schneider
get
can
that.
do
You
it,
never
I
know.
can do it. That's how I look at it. All
Yeah.
right. So the next
I
one.
think obviously-
Oh, go ahead. You're good.
I never got a chance to speak there, man. Yo, chill.
Go ahead.
I think obviously, like, yeah, I could obviously do it. As the fucking baseball player group as playing junior and shit. Like, I don't think it would be that. It'd be hard, but I think like after a first like quarter of the season, I get kind of more acclimated to the speed of the pitches coming at me. I don't think it would be that tough.
I don't think you'll get used to 100 miles.
I think your eye will
You
be
see it
used
enough,
to it. You know,
definitely.
you'll start to be able to track the pitches.
You'll get
the
a
more you get
Hyunjin
behind the
Ryu
plate.
ass curveball 65 miles an hour down the middle. 100%. It'll happen.
Hang that shit.
Yeah,
Hang that shit.
one pitcher will fuck up and you'll hit a ground ball to the pitcher and you'll be fine. All right, next.
Yeah.
Do you think you could hit a 3 in the NBA?
100%.
No,
Yeah.
I think I'm
so.
bound to
just-
chuck one up and it somehow goes in.
Full
There's
82
so many
game
times
season?
where guys get missed, like where like when guys just like when people are moving around where you get open.
But you still have to hit that
shot.
shot. That's the only thing that I look at it is I'm not the best
Yeah, but
shooter,
it's not-
clearly. I think
but
I
the
can
one
do
thing
it.
is too, right, is that like out of everything on this list, the one thing you can go out and do is like go and shoot an NBA 3 outside, right? Like
Yeah.
you can just stand at that
Your NBA
distance.
is it's farther than like what you see in the college though with those three.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. But I feel like eventually, like that, you'd probably be able to.
Yeah,
You'd be able to
if
knock
you're just
one
left
down.
open
You get lucky
and
or
huck 'em,
whatever.
your shooting percentage might be a 0.4%, but eventually
Yeah, it might not
one
be
will go in the net.
good.
All right, and then we got
Pretty
our
much
last topic of the podcast here. Do you think you could finish pole in Formula One?
No,
No, that's wild.
No.
That's wild.
Not a shot.
What about NASCAR?
No.
I wish I'd be able to
No.
finish a lap.
No,
in
no.
Formula
I think I could
No.
finish pole in
No.
NASCAR.
Like in like Talladega.
Yeah,
right? Is that
in the
right?
super speedway, I think I could. I'm not
Yes,
saying I'll
yeah.
finish the racing first, but I think I will I think I could qualify. Give me 100 chances. I think I could qualify first in Daytona. But it did say Formula One, so we're all on the no for Formula One.
No.
Yeah,
No, F1's so
Yeah,
hard.
not as-
not a chance for me.
If I'm out there, just take the over 1.5 safety cars.
So how it sounds is Formula
You'd be lucky to get out
and
of the
golf are the
fucking
hardest
box.
sports. Formula One and golf are the hardest sports, is what we're saying.
Well, in terms of what we're asking, yes.
Yeah.
And NFL's the third hardest, apparently. Because a couple of us think we could gain a yard, even though I think you guys are smoking crack.
No.
But
Well,
All
I
right.
definitely could probably gain a yard before I could hit par on a whole 18-hole course.
all right, so that concludes the first episode. Do you guys have anything to say before we leave?
Leave a comment, Bully and Cole.
Yeah, really cool.
Fuck off.
And Jesus loves you.
All right, that's a great way to send off. Once again, I'm Cody, and these are the college dropouts: Cole, Hendo, or Ryan. I guess I should call him Ryan, Logan, and Joey. We'll try and do this once a week. We'll probably forget eventually, but we're gonna try and do this once a week. Goodbye.
So we'll see you next year.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah. Dropped out of school, now we done rich. This sound like some 4301 shit.